And I'm back. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about cost volume profit or CVP analysis. So cost volume profit analysis is a financial tool that helps businesses understand the relationship between cost, sales volume, and profit. So by analyzing these relationships, organizations can make informed decisions about pricing, production levels, and product mix. So CVP analysis is also a crucial activity for planning, budgeting, and assessing financial risks. So let's understand the relationship between cost, volume, and profit. So these are basically the two major tools that we use for the CVP analysis. So contribution margin is the difference between sales revenue and variable cost. So it measures how sales contribute to covering fixed costs and generating profit. So understanding the contribution margin helps businesses set prices that cover costs and achieve desired profit levels. On the other hand, the profit volume or PV ratio, also known as the contribution margin ratio, is the ratio of contribution margin to sales revenue. So it indicates the relative profitability of sales. So this one is used in assessing the impact of sales changes on profit. So it helps assess how changes in sales volume affect the overall profitability. Alright, so let's delve into an example of contribution margin analysis. Using this hypothetical scenario, say we have a baked goods store that sells chocolate cakes and cheese bread. So we have here the revenue and cost data. Chocolate cake selling price is 500 pesos per cake, and the variable cost, basically the ingredients and labor, is 300 pesos. On the other hand, cheese bread is sold per dozen. The price is 240 per dozen, and the variable cost is 120. Now, in this particular bake shop, the total fixed cost, basically rent, utilities, and salaries, is 100,000 per month. So these are the calculation steps to compute for the contribution margin. For chocolate cake, the formula is selling price less variable cost, and then we have cheese bread, selling price minus variable cost as well. 240 less 120 is 120. So the contribution margin ratio is contribution margin divided by the selling price. For chocolate cake, is 200 divided by 500 is 40%. For cheese bread, it's 120 divided by 240, it's 50%. Step 3 is to assess overall impact. So assume that the monthly sales volume, say, is 200 cakes and 300 dozens of cheese bread. So the total contribution from chocolate cake is 200 cakes multiplied by 200 pesos is 40,000. And then for the cheese bread is 300 dozens sold for the month multiplied by 120, 36,000. So the total contribution margin is 40,000 plus 36,000 is 76,000. Step 4 is cover fixed costs and determine profit. So total contribution against fixed costs is 76 less 100,000 is negative 24,000. That resulted into loss for that particular month. Alright, so in this analysis, it reveals several key insights. Number 1 is the cheese bread has a higher contribution margin ratio, which is 50% compared to chocolate cake, which is 40%, suggesting that each peso of sales from cheese bread contributes more to covering fixed costs and potential profit than chocolate cakes. But despite the higher unit contribution of chocolate cakes, the overall monthly contribution, when multiplied by the number of units sold from both products, is not enough to cover the total fixed cost of 100,000, resulting in a loss. So this analysis highlights the importance of not only maximizing the contribution margin per unit, but also the impact of sales volume and the mix of sales and marketing the products on overall profitability. It suggests that the bakery might need to increase prices, reduce costs, or adjust, like I said, the sales and marketing mix toward more profitable items to break even and achieve profitability. Let's now proceed with the sample profit volume analysis. So this example will help in understanding how much profit each product contributes for every peso of sales and assist in strategic decisions about sales focus, discounting, and product promotion. So in this case, we have an electronics retail store of, say, products, smartphone and tablets. So based on revenue and cost data, the selling price of smartphones is 20,000 and the variable cost per unit is 12,000, while the tablet's selling price is 15,000 and the variable cost is 9,000. So to compute for the profit/volume ratio, so we calculate the contribution margin first. Again, selling price less variable cost. In the case of smartphones is 8,000, for the tablet is 6,000. Then the PV ratio is, again, 8,000 divided by 20,000, which is 40%. And then the tablets is 6,000 divided by 15,000. So, interestingly, both smartphones and tablets have the same PV ratio of 40%. So, this means that for every peso generated in sales from either smartphones or tablets, there's 40 cents. Both contributes toward covering fixed costs and generating profits. So with both products having the same PV ratio, the focus for increasing profitability could rely on the factors such as, number one, sales volume. So increasing the sales volume of either product will proportionately increase profitability. Analyzing which product has a higher market demand or growth potential could be beneficial. Second is market saturation and competition, or is less saturated in the market. So determine which product faces less competition, as this might offer more room for sales growth. And third is promotional strategies. So since both products have the same profitability ratio, promotions might focus on the product that attracts more customers or leads to a higher overall revenue. So the PV ratio analysis is a straightforward tool that helps managers understand how much each product contributes to stores' profitability and guide the strategic decisions regarding pricing, promotion, and sales focus. I'll see you in the next lesson.